Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inc. Radio podcast. This is our first episode, and today I'm joined by one of my co-hosts and two other guests. So today I'm with Rocket. You might know him from SND in the past, and now he's on Strange Approach.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Just below him, in a little panel over there. Hi, Hitzel. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And then below me is Cody. You guys may have known him as well from Team Ultima and Komodo and a bunch of other teams, you know.
How's it going, everybody?
So, yeah, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Splatoon. I know that we all played the test fire last week, probably all 7 or 6 sessions. We all woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning if you're on West Coast because you're mental to go play the game. Let's start right away, right off the bat. I have my Switch right here, guys. You know, I think everyone has it with them, yeah? So this is...
Cody's isn't in reaching.
We all have a Switch.
So.
Sorry, Cody. Apparently you didn't have one. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we played the game, because everyone seems to have a different experience depending on what controllers they were using. So I just want to get everyone's thoughts on like how they felt the game was played, how they felt it felt, of course, with the controllers. So Rocket, how did you play the game?
I did Pro Controller for the first 2, and then I did Joy-Con separately, which actually wasn't too bad.
So you saying...
Yeah, so here, let me demonstrate what
you were
I did.
like the Nintendo guy over there, you know, just laying back, you know?
Yeah, so I did 2 separately.
This is now a Switch commercial, sorry.
Yeah, this is a Switch commercial. Which the right one, which looks like the left or the right, but yeah, it's the one that actually controls the motion controls. So it's kind of cool. You can, like, if I was playing Splat right now, I could just hold my left hand down and kind of like Harry Potter, the TV, and try to control the motion. It was actually pretty comfortable. I was surprised, but I probably like the Pro Controller best. It was the easiest, but I could see why like casually playing the Joy-Cons would be pretty fun separately. I didn't try them together, and I also didn't do tablet mode, but I'd recommend the Pro, but the separate was not too bad.
All right. And you, Hitzel, what do you think?
I pretty much used the Pro Controller the whole time. My very first test fire was on break at my job, and I played on a super laggy TV. Like, I just dragged my Switch to work, and there was an hour break, and I was like, cool, all right, I'm taking it at 3. And that was pretty horrendous because there was like a half second of delay on there. But for the test fires, I played with the Pro Controller, and if you didn't, there was like a bug in the test fire where if you didn't have your sensitivities for your sticks and your motion at the same number, you would get a little bit input lag. So after I think like 2 more test fires, I figured that out, and then I was pretty buttery smooth from then on. I played it -4, and in Splat 1 I played it -3, so just kind of turned my sensitivity down a little bit to make up for the controller being small, and I was fine.
I never had that issue because I just went to 2.5. What I did with Splatoon 1, I was like, this should work just fine. And then I played it, and I was like, yeah, it works just fine. So I never changed it afterwards. So
This is a great time.
So how about you, Cody? How did you play Splatoon? I mean, you can mention
only way
TV
is
setups,
broken.
you know, like Hitzel with his
Yeah.
hobo CRT
I mean,
TV setup.
No, I wasn't using like like a little TV in a shack or anything. I was using a monitor, and I used the Pro Controller, so no latency. I was on wireless. So that's the only thing that I was like griping about. It wasn't until like the last time I got the LAN adapter, but I mean, I played on 0 sensitivity, so it's fine. I didn't have any like that latency thing with the like lagging gyros. It's nice.
Cool. And so I played a couple of different ways because I made the topics for the podcast, so I preemptively thought of everything. I played with the controllers off, like freeform, and I couldn't do that because like my hands are so used to navigating like left to right with a controller that like independently moving them like creeped me out, and I couldn't do it. If it was 2 sticks, it'd be fine, but I couldn't do it just the one. I also tried portable mode. I don't know if anyone else tried portable mode. And it was sucked, man. Like I was trying to aim, but then I was like trying to look at the screen at the same time. And hold on, I'll just give an example. I have my Switch here, right? Like I'm sitting there and I'm like this, and then I'm like trying to turn like this, and I'm like, I can't do this. And it was just like really frustrating overall. I know a lot of people said they liked it, but I didn't have a great experience with it. I think overall the Pro controller was still the best one, you know? The beautiful Pro controller, you know? Wonderful. So
Yeah, going back to what you said about the Joy-Cons, that's what I noticed when I had them separate. I kept trying to pull them together, like to make it like a normal controller. It did feel really unnatural.
Yeah, that was it. Like it didn't feel super natural unless you were moving both at the same time. But I could see like having that freedom is cool. But yeah, I just couldn't get into it. Pro controller was the way to go for me. I kind of couldn't really play anywhere else because like I'm not the best at the game, you know. I'm terrible. So now that we've talked about the controllers, so how were your overall thoughts of Splatoon 2? Like, what did you guys think playing the 6-hour sessions, playing the game with the 4 weapons that we had?
Who starts? I can start. All right, I talked first. Whatever. So I was pretty excited about the weapons that we got to choose from, just because I mained Vanilla Splattershot for like almost a year when the game first came out before I switched to Zimmy. So and although like the gun's pretty gear dependent in Splat 1, I still got like a pretty good feel for it. And I think that one of the things about Vanilla Splattershot in Splat 1, and this is more of like a balance perspective, I guess, as far as like a mechanics perspective, but the Splattershot in Splat 1 was forced down like a really narrow build path because you kind of had to make your special good with like bomb range and stuff. And then when you have all this bomb range and you can't use it because you don't have like ink efficiency or damage, then you have to start doing all that kind of stuff. So you pretty much if you wanted to play Splattershot, you were forced into this really narrow play style of having a lot of bomb range, some damage, and a lot of ink efficiency. And that's pretty much all you could do because that bomb rush special kind of locked you in to having to do that. Whereas something like the Neo Splash-O-Matic or like the Nozzle Nose D or whatever, which are actually kind of similar weapons, don't have to do that because they're specials aren't like dependent on gear. Whereas like now the Vanilla Splattershot is also one of those weapons, right? Where like because you have the 10 missiles instead of bomb rush, you can run whatever you want and the special's still going to be the special, and that's fine. And so while I think that that's really good for like the general viability and flexibility of the weapon overall, where like people who don't want to play like a douchebag like me can just like play it like it's a regular shooter. I do also think that the weapon's going to be pretty good if you do go back, like, you know, rewind a little bit and play my style, because there were a lot of times where I would like throw a couple bombs at someone, they'd take cover, I'd like launch missiles at them, and then I could like keep throwing bombs. And because I couldn't throw 3 at a time, or because I couldn't throw them that far, or because they didn't do enough damage, because, you know, that's just the gear that you had in the beta, or the test fire or whatever, I wasn't really able to take advantage of that. But like as a support player, being able to just like call people out and just constantly mortar people and stuff like that, like I think it's actually going to be pretty sick. And if I can kind of like master the art of just like being a jerk and suppressing people with that weapon, I think it's going to be fun.
So in a more general sense, other than just Splattershot, I know you played like almost exclusively Splattershot because you're Hitzel and that's what you do.
A little bit of dualies, and I played like 2 games of the other.
Yeah, you picked up the dualies. You were like, wow, these things, they're not one gun. I'm going to throw it away and I'm going to play Splattershot. No, but in all honesty though, like what was your general thought of the game? Like, did you feel like they improved on things? Did you feel like there were some negatives to the test fire overall, or?
Okay, yeah. I do want to say one thing about dualies, though. The curling bombs were way better than I thought they would be, just because if you held down the button to like make them explode faster, they actually, like, you didn't have to really hold it down at all. So you could have like the long range curling bombs, and if you held it down for like a quarter of a second, it would blow up in your face like a regular, like a suction or splat bomb. So I thought that was pretty cool how the new take on the Seeker is more like viable. But for the game overall, I'm really like impressed, and I know it's like kind of general to say, but the fact that the specials are all like more like utility focused now, and there isn't like the just like popping Zuka or like pop Kraken or pop bubble and stuff like that. I was a little bit concerned that like it would feel like you can't get map control back, but I don't really think that's the case. You know what I mean? And so I really like how the like slaying and making plays is more focused on your weapon and your basic like mechanics and movement and stuff like that, instead of everybody bubble go. You know, like that kind of stuff. And a lot of the stuff that they did with the game in general also felt kind of nice, where they have like the extra movement options for all the weapons, or they have like these extra mechanics that like kind of like add more skill. And I felt like actually, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I felt like the hurt boxes or the hit boxes, whatever, were like smaller. You know what I mean? Like there was a bunch of times where like in Splat 1, I felt like if I just like kind of sprayed at that guy, I would have gotten the kill. Whereas in this one, like if the bullets didn't exactly hit the guy, I wouldn't. So like that all kind of added to the feeling of the game taking more skill.
Yeah, I'd say yes and no. Like I played a lot of different weapons. I didn't touch the rollers too much, but I did play everything else pretty extensively. I find the movement feels good. Movement feels really similar. I actually like that the jump button is now on the lower, like I forgot what it is, the B button on the Pro Controller. I thought that's a great addition. I jump like crazy now, as opposed to like never jumping in Splatoon 1. So I think that's really cool. My thing was, though, is that I'm not sure if it had to do with like the tick rate or whatever it was, but I felt like a lot of the times I had things that were like, I felt like I should have gotten the kill and not traded, but in some situations I traded regardless. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it didn't happen all the time, because obviously like when you're playing the test fire, you're playing against like moms and dads, you know, and there's just like you're just like pub stomping them, right? But like every once in a while I got like a death and I'm just like it felt like, I don't know if it's just me, but did like running into enemy ink feel like it punished you really hard?
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah.
It was hard to tell because, like, for me, because I was thinking about this because people were thinking that, like, oh, enemy ink does more damage to you, or, like, you're going to need ink resist more now or something like that. But I feel like, in general, a lot of us were, I mean, I know that I was taking a while to get used to the new controls and the aim and stuff like that. And, like, enemy ink wasn't more punishing. It wasn't like enemy ink was more punished. It was just that like we were finding ourselves in situations where enemy ink was hurting us more often because we wouldn't get the kill, we would miss and not get the kill right away, and be in situations where we're kind of sitting in enemy ink too long. Whereas like in Splat 1, we either would have gotten a kill or gotten out. At least that's how I felt. And that and like the effect from being hurt, like the ink on your screen is like
it is so massive.
Like,
it's like ridiculous. So it was kind of hard. It was kind of hard to tell. Like I couldn't tell when like if the game was being inconsistent, or if like I was being inconsistent, you know what I mean? But I do feel that overall there was like a general feeling of inconsistency, like the aim being a little bit buggy, and even if you did fix the glitch, like I felt like the aim wasn't quite as responsive as it feels like in Splat 1. Then you also had like kind of like sometimes like the netcode felt a little wonky, and then also something that FLC pointed out to me a little while ago was that the way the ink is rendered in Splat 1, it was like really like glossy and you could see ripples in the ink and stuff like that really easily, whereas in this one it almost looks like watercolor, where like it's kind of hard to see like enemies moving around, like the ripples in the ink.
That's legit. I actually thought people were teleporting at one point, but then I realized that they were just swimming through ink and I couldn't see them because of like just how the pastelly, like they're not the same as Splatoon 1. Like I think we'll get used to it, but I think we're just so used to how Splatoon 1 the swim mechanics worked that like it's like such a change that it's like it seems minor, but it's major. Like it's so crazy.
Yeah. Another thing about it though is when two colors of ink touch each other in Splat 1, the difference is like really sharp. You know what I mean? Whereas in Splat 2, it's kind of like watercolor paint kind of like bleeding into each other a little bit. So sometimes when things get a little bit messy, especially when like these colors that we're not used to, or maybe they're not like as different from each other in brightness as they should be. So when people were like swimming around like really messy situations, it's kind of hard to tell what was going on. Like again, like our eyes will have to get used to it. I don't know. I can't tell if that's me being inconsistent or the game being inconsistent. You know, I guess like when we play some more test fires, we'll be able to tell. And I guess one thing to kind of make my my impressions kind of like a negative sandwich, you know what I mean? Like put like some positive at the top and bottom is I really, really, really like the new map, like a lot. I feel like that's actually like the biggest change, aside from obviously, you know, like weapons being different and, you know, specials being different and stuff. As far as like just base mechanics, the fact that you can just bring up the map and it's always in the same spot in your screen. So like once you get used to the map, you always know exactly where to look to check for certain stuff. And like, that's just great. And towards the end of the test fire, I was starting to like get like the button combinations down for jumping back to base. And it's really simple because you can just hold down the D-pad and just smash X and A. Just like kind of stick both your thumbs down and you'll jump back to base. And then I was doing stuff where like if I had like a charger, I would try to jump back to him and I would just roll my thumb over both ways in the D-pad and hit the buttons twice, and I would jump to the charger. And if the charger was dead, I would just go back to base instead. So it was kind of like a cool like option select thing. But I think like especially like the kind of player that I am, where like I kind of take more of like a backline role. I like to play like splatlings and long range stuff where like I'll be doing a lot of painting and a lot of like calling out and stuff like that. the fact that, like, for example, like with a heavy, when I go to like paint while I'm releasing my charge, I can just bring up the mini map and look for enemy ink like movement, you know what I mean, on the mini map real quick every once in a while. And if I know where to look once I learn the maps, I think that's going to make like a big difference for like support players like me, or just like people just checking the map in general. And I really like that because I think it's going to involve like more teamwork and a little bit more I don't know, like more structure. Yeah, exactly.
So
as far as strategy goes.
Any other thoughts to add to that, Cody and Rocket, before we go into a little bit of like the 2 maps that we played?
I think just more so going off what Hitzel was saying, for the longest time now I've been using swim speed and ink res, so definitely going into the test fire not having any ink resistance or swim speed at all. Noticing going into enemy ink, it was like hitting a brick wall. And a lot of the times I was doing bad at first because I'm pretty much just used to it being fine jumping into enemy ink and just shooting from there. But once I don't know if it was more frames between getting stuck in ink and then popping back out or what it was, but it definitely felt a lot slower moving that way. But I feel like it would be fast once you get some swim speed on. But other than that, it was more so the fact I did really enjoy it, but it was turf war, so it's kind of after about 6 sessions I was kind of feeling like, all right, now the next step is playing some zones or some tower or whatever the new modes are going to be. But I did really enjoy it. But that was the only thing, along with Hitzel, I was just wishing that I could add some different gear options on to kind of play rollers or dualies a little bit more quicker with some run speed and some swim speed, because without it, I feel like it doesn't work as well for me.
Yeah, for sure. And Cody?
I only have one thing to add. That whole test fire felt like I was a dinosaur stepping into one of those like muddy, oily pits, and my shoes were just coming off at the seams. Because I play with ink resistance all the time exclusively. I can't even play stealth jump because the moment I step in ink, I'm like, so playing the test fire with like those weird subs, like whatever. I don't even know if they had subs on the thing. They're just like
they did. Well, they had mains
like,
only.
Was bad. I was like. Well, I'm a charger with QR. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, 2017. I was like, this is silly. It's awful. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, just I want my ink resistance. And it better not, I better not get stuck in the pastelly, oily demon water.
So now... Yeah, go ahead. Finish up what you were saying.
That's all I have to add.
All right. So
if one of our viewers wants to make the Photoshop of a Cody dinosaur getting stuck in the mud,
so what do you guys think of the 2 maps? What were the names again? Exactly, it was Muscle Forge and the Reef. Yeah.
And then they just announced Humpback Pump Track or something.
Yeah, Humpback. We're not going to talk about that because we don't know too much about it. We just know the name is like ridiculous, but. Semi-sexual, okay, but whatever. Nintendo doesn't know these things. So what do you guys think of the first 2 maps that we played?
I liked the Reef. I think is that the one with the which one's the one with the
bridge?
The jungle gym stuff.
Oh, that was
I like the one with the jungle I like Muscle Forge, not the Reef. The Reef was alright. I don't know, like because the only times I played Charger was on Muscle Forge. That's the only time I did decent. So that's where it goes from.
Really? I had the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I loved the Reef, and I didn't like Muscle Forge that much. It felt too like V-shaped. I don't know. Like it was just like a giant hill and like mounds that go down. I like verticality, but I don't like that kind of verticality. Like it's just too high. And like aiming up and around and stuff like that with your motion is just like so much more difficult. I like the Reef because I like that there was a bridge. There's a couple of options you could take. It was kind of open a little bit. I don't know. I just thought Muscle Forge was like tiny and there was just so many crevices to go around. And it just like, I like it, but it's probably going to be like one of those maps where after like 10,000 hours of us all playing it, I'm just going to be like, I hate this map,
or something like that.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention though, where you said like the up and down the ramps or whatever. I don't know about you guys, but in Splat 1, if you're fighting up and down ramps, your bullets just like crash into the ground for like no reason. Like where your inkling is and where the camera is and how you aim. Like fighting up and down hills is like a pain unless you're a slasher. But on Muscle Forge, I never felt like I was unable to shoot at people that I could see. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys like felt like they fixed that, but I kind of felt like they addressed that problem with Splat 1's aim.
I didn't notice that too much, but what I did like about the Muscle Forge one was that it was kind of a good way to do top mid. If you think of like Flounder Heights and Moray, where it's just a steep line cliff, and the incline actually helps it so you can not get, as easily ambushed by top mid. Like if you have something short range top mid, like a Luna or something, you could see it coming rather than just, oh, okay, this Luna fell down from top mid and directed me. There's nothing I could do about it because I couldn't see it coming, kind of thing.
Yeah. And anyone else? Final thoughts on the maps? I mean, there was only two. Can't really go too much in depth. We didn't play enough to get like, like spots and strats and everything. Like we're playing turf war with like
It was Spawn
Benny.
killed Dad and Jimmy real quick, but
Yeah.
one thing I did notice about the general map design that I like, and this also applies to the new one that was announced, even though we didn't get to see it much, I kind of saw like signs of the same things where like in Splat 1, one of the major problems with the maps was that getting out of your base was like this choke point where like if you lost control, the enemy just sat there and camped and looked at certain spots, and it was like a real pain to get out. And the fact that we don't have like Kraken and Bubble and stuff like that to force our ways out of those situations kind of scared me a little bit, because I was afraid that like Slippery Slope would be actually worse in Splat 2, like if you, because sometimes you need those supers to get out of your base, you know what I mean? Whereas like the way that the maps all seem to be designed in Splat 2 is they have like these kind of like open like ramp areas that kind of like gradually keep sloping down to the outside of the map with like lots of cover and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to like on like Port Mackerel where it's like one hallway with like a middle finger in each one. You know what I mean? Like how are you getting out of this thing? And then once you get into mid, it kind of has like this interesting structure thing going on. So like on the reef we saw like the bridge and like the kind of like the canal area thing, like being surrounded by platforms, like that was like their like mid interesting area, right? And then like on Muscle Forge they had like the kind of like, it almost looked like like a gingerbread house or whatever, where like you would go up to the roof and there's lots of like stuff sticking out. Like that was their middle area. And then like this the new one that got announced, it's kind of the same thing. It has like these ramps going down with like cover so you can kind of gradually get your way into the into mid however you want to, and then that's their thing in the middle.
I mean, it looks like they really designed it with the intentional mind of like moving point to point, and you can kind of hunker down and move as like progressively as a team. So that's pretty cool. I'm not sure about Muscle Forge regardless of that. It's going to be a good map. It's not going to be a map I enjoy. Let's put it that way. So, So I guess since we don't have too much to talk about with that, let's go right into the gameplay. So we're going to talk first about the rollers. I know we didn't actually cover rollers too much, but yeah, let's go right into it. So how did you guys feel about the rollers in the game, like the new mechanics of it?
10 out of 10. You throw the ink, 10 out of 10. It's so good. I had the most fun with the, like, I was like, I'm gonna main the dualies, and then I touched like all the other weapons. It's like, hey, roller, let's go. I was like having so much fun with it. The flicks, like the alternating flicks where you like flick and then jump and then flick, like the fact that you can do both like vertical and horizontal, it's like really, I think that's really, really good for roller players. And it just makes the weapon fun. Like, it was way fun. It was way more fun than, stacking 80,000 subs of swim speed and going at Mach speed and just doing, now I could be tricky about it. Like, so, it's great.
Yeah, definitely. I played a little bit of it. I really didn't play too much, to be honest. Like, I've never been a fan of rollers in general, so this is like no exception. I don't know. I just never really enjoyed it. But playing the second one, it is a lot different. It feels significantly different. So yeah, I don't know. I like the vertical flick. At the same time, I like that it's not a one-shot, because if it was one-shot, it'd be super broken. The one thing that I will say about the rollers that bothers me playing against them is I find they're too fast. Like, it could be a thing that we just don't have the gear abilities for like swim speed and stuff, but I felt like a lot of times, like, I could understand if I was playing someone who was like a dude or like a rocket, you know what I mean? Like running away from me with a splatter shot and he's like dodging me.
You better say that.
Like, well, no, Rocket's a great carbon, love his carbon play.
Thanks, man.
But like, let's say we like, you have the roller, okay, and you're trying to shoot him in the test fire. I found there were plenty of times where I was just shooting him, and then they just like walked away, like just out of like they just magically walked away, and I could never catch them again. And it's just like, okay, like I understand avoiding conflict, but there's like avoiding conflict, like you put yourself in a punishable position, and they just kind of like roll away. I thought that was a little bit like weird, you know what I mean? But like I'm not gonna judge it too harshly because we don't have any gear sets or anything yet.
You're
so.
talking about like the Splatfix kids that like hit the right trigger at the start of the game.
Yeah, they just keep holding that right trigger and they keep moving. Like I couldn't hit them. Like I tried running to them. I was shooting burst bombs at them. They're just like, fuck that. I'm just gonna keep bursting on through, like not even paying attention to me shooting them. Like I don't know, man.
Not today.
I feel like when like what Rocket was saying, like when everybody can like have like their swim speed or whatever, because like there's a couple times where I try to chase one of those guys down and I'm just like huffing and puffing and he's still just like holding down the trigger. I can't catch him. But if I had swim speed, I would have been able to just catch up and shoot him and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention, like I only played 2 games with the roller and I couldn't like get used to like mechanically using which flick I wanted, you know what I mean? I think like that's like the same for like a lot of like the videos I saw. Like people were just like, I can't stop vertical flicking, please stop. Like the guys right in front of me.
I actually had the opposite effect. I could perfectly handle the vertical and the roller flick. I just didn't like playing rollers.
But I did see people's videos where like you can kind of tell where it was like, okay, like if I want to do a horizontal flick, I can do this. Because you could also like you could hit the right trigger and then immediately afterwards hit the jump button and you would still get a jump horizontal flick. Like it wasn't like that isn't in the game anymore. So it's just like the muscle memory has to be like learned. And I saw other people doing that in some other videos I saw, but I'm not one of those people. So
Yeah, as soon as I figured out how to time it to jump, or rather flick, like you said, then jump, and pretty much decide when to do horizontal and vertical, I was a lot more comfortable with it. And I think the rollers out of the 4 are probably the strongest. Like that was in the test fire, but I'm really happy with all the buffs that they gave it. I'm just waiting for like a carbon or a dynamo to have the same effect. Would be awesome.
do you think that the carbon having a faster flick is going to mess up that timing and stuff, or do you think it'll be fine?
I think as long as I can still do both the horizontal and vertical, I think it'll be nice to give the carbon just a little bit more range. I don't think I'll use it very much. I'll mostly use the vertical flick for what I found in the test fire is it works a lot better to like pre-fire someone who's up on top of a ledge. As far as trying to like the vertical straight line was a lot better than trying to do a horizontal flick in that case, because you could get a little bit farther back, and even if you don't kill them, you can hear the detection, like the sound detection, and be able to tell where they are. So I liked it. I like the rollers a lot.
Yeah, I think that with time, I think they're going to be one of those weapons that's probably going to need tweaking. I think they just put too much in their kit right now, as opposed to like other weapons. Like the roller just got severely buffed on mobility and verticality and like just normal flick. And another thing I noticed in the game is I don't know if you guys noticed this too, but I felt like rolls were a lot more punishing. Like when someone rolls over you, like I know you're supposed to be punished, but like in Splatoon 1, I felt like you kind of felt someone hit you first and then you exploded. But in like Splatoon 1, you just kind of drop on a guy who's rolling and you just die instantly. Like it's not even a question, you're dead, you know?
Yeah, you get evaporated.
Yeah, like
Maybe the hitbox is actually bigger.
yeah, I don't know. It feels like they just really buffed it. I don't know. Me personally, I think they're probably gonna have to do some balance changes on it later on at a higher level. I feel like rollers are gonna be really strong compared to like the other stuff, at least from what we've seen right now. You know.
I can just imagine like a playtesting panel where like they had like a bunch of like noobs play Splatoons. Like, all right, what do you think? And he was like, you see that roll thing I was doing? More of that, better.
More of that, better. I mean, I don't know. Like when I used the roller, I had instances where I would like hit somebody with like a direct vertical or a direct horizontal, and sometimes they would just be like, "I'm still alive," and I'm like, "You on dial up? What's going on? I hit you." And then I hit him again. I hit a guy in one of my test fire footages where I hit this dude 3 times, and he was within like almost kissing range, and this man was running around, and he didn't die. He wasn't lagging. He just didn't die. He killed me, and I was like, "That's like, huh?
Super Mario.
Excuse me."
There is a ton of fall off for the vertical flick. I noticed, like, you have to
Yeah.
actually be close, but
Oh, yeah,
if you hit someone at the end of it, it only does like 30 damage.
And you do have to be pretty accurate with it. I find like it
Mhm.
wasn't something where like you could just vertical flick and like you would hit like everything, you know? Like you really did have to be pretty precise with it. Like you have to almost do a snipe with the roller. So like I do
Not
like
like
that
a
they're doing like a lot of skill stuff. I just think it's too versatile at the moment. But yeah, so other than just like the main weapon itself, how'd you guys feel? Well, we already know what suction bombs are. I'm not going to get into that. Nothing's really changed with those. But how do you guys feel about the splashdown ability that we've seen Silver? This is Silver's gameplay, by the way. Like 8,000 times that he's done it. How do you guys feel about that new ability? Also, we just watched Pixel before Silver, just letting you guys know. So
10 out of 10. You go in the air,
I'm
splash
actually
down.
gonna bring up the stream so I
It's so good.
can talking about.
I love the splash. Like I don't know. I don't love it more than the missiles, but the for the roller of what you're trying to do, I think is a good thing, and a bad thing is like when you're in that air and you're not coming down right away, you could just get slapped. Like I shot somebody down with a vertical flick as they like went in the air. I'm like, not today, Superman. Like it is, but the fact that it's like an ink strike that just literally like comes down is like really nice, and the fact that you are the ink strike, like that makes it so much better. And sitting there like fucking doing this, waiting, and then it's like it's just I think it's way like it's very good. Like,
yeah, I like it. I actually think it's a really well, I don't want to say balanced, but I feel like it's a really well thought about kit. Like, you aren't invincible, but it happens fast enough where if you catch someone off guard with it, like they're just dead. You know what I mean? Like it rewards you catching someone off guard, but it's not too punishing to the extent of like, if you run in when there's 4 people around, like you're not just going to get invincibility, jump into them and then just like murder everyone, right? Like you might get a kill, but you will die after that, you know? So I don't know. I really, really like it. I thought it was really fun to use. That was probably the favorite thing about the roller was just like using the splashdown, like having like some like noob guys like run towards you with like their rollers, you know, like the little people who just hold ZR, and then like you just bait them with it, and then like you jump up and just smash them. Like it feels really satisfying. Like it's a fun ability to use.
Like I said, I only played a couple of games, but what I found myself using the splashdown for was just like avoiding like dying or whatever. Whereas like if I had used the bubble or kraken in Splat 1 to avoid dying in that way, I probably could have killed the guy afterwards. So it's kind of like, yeah, like you have to really be pretty like intentional and like kind of think about what you're going to do, because if you just use the splashdown as a panic button, like you might be able to live because you like avoided some damage and like the situation kept going and you didn't die, but like you're not going to get kills out of it. So it's like you actually, in order to like actually like use the splashdown properly, you actually have to plan to use it ahead of time, which is what I think they were trying to like avoid compared to like bubble and kraken.
Yeah, really trying to focus on just like being smart about plays. Like I don't know, it's really cool. That's like all I'm gonna say about it.
It's just a Rainmaker explosion that you can just summon.
Yeah, going off what Cody said, it's like a portable ink strike, basically. You could take it with you anywhere. Like, doing it in Turf War was super fun, but I can just imagine, like, in a zones match, like on Black Belly with a small zone, in overtime, just, like, dropping down to the zone and just splat downing and just ending the game there. You know, just running up and or, like, on tower push or something like that. So it's going to be really cool. Yeah.
Using it to block a tower push, like going in front of the tower, shooting up and landing on the tower.
Just hulking on the ground to end it.
Yeah. You shall not pass. Like.
All right, so now that we got rollers out of the way, let's switch to chargers here, okay? So we're gonna put some gameplay of me because I seem to have had the most charger gameplay for some reason.
How about that? Yeah.
So I played the Chargers for a while. I don't know. Did you guys play for a little bit, or like, do you have any thoughts on it?
I did a lot of Charger too. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys all did a lot of Charger. Okay, so it's not Pixel. Pixel sitting there like, I got sniped, but I didn't play that shit.
It wasn't me.
Oh man, it's just like give me my tented tech back. Give me those burst
Ew,
bombs.
what's a pen attack?
Why is
Don't
it
put a
bomb
sticker
range
on
up
my
in
Slack
the
chat,
test
please.
fire? All right, so well, we'll start off, I guess, with Rocket. What were your thoughts on the charge, just the Charger weapon itself? We'll get into the sub abilities right after, but how was your feeling of like the Charger?
I really liked it because in Splat 1, I rarely use e-liters. I can use them every so often, but I just feel like they're way too slow. And I like the the splatter scope and kelp because they're a little bit faster. And now being able to use an even faster, in a sense, because you can hold the charge. I liked using it a lot because it made things more mobile. I could actually be aggressive and go forward and have a quick out. I think it'll be really, really strong. Even more so than Splat 1 is running a lot of swim speed on it and kiting with it and being able to hold the charge and go in, try to get a kill, and then back out. I think it's going to be really useful along with just the painting power of it and the killing power of it. Obviously, we know snipers can kill really well. Being able to move like that way more freely and go in and escape, and rather than just having when you think of a sniper, they have to stay back. But now it looks like they'll be able to move forward a lot more and actually help out with pushes and be a little bit more aggressive. So I really liked it. I thought it was really cool, and the fact that you can hold the charge.
Yeah. So I'll touch on it a little bit. I think the holding the charge is pretty cool. I thought it was going to be like you could just constantly hold the charge as long as that you were like in swim form and it just like degrade over time, but it doesn't. It just completely goes away. And you have to like constantly pop in and out of squid form even though you're illuminated. Like when you have that charge shot, like you are a beacon because either you're not in squid form, you're in kid form, or you're just like a shining light. So like you're constantly having to move if you want to keep that charge.
That works. So it works like that, where like if you pop at it and can go back in, it like resets the timer completely or whatever.
Yeah, but the reset timer is almost like a second and a half at most. Like it's really not long that you can hold that charge being in squid form. So it's kind
slower?
of no, but the thing is like. It's not from the way it looks. This is not meant for like long traversal. Like you're not going to charge up your shot at spawn and then just like swim and then like get out of kid squid form constantly doing it. You'd be too slow. I think it's really meant for like I know everyone's seen the Tic Tac montage. We know Tic Tac and he's a god, right? So like if you saw how he did it, he would like hold the shot and he'd go in swim form to like kind of jump through a corner to hit someone, which I think is what its use is for. Is meant more so that you can conceal shots and still feel safer. I think that's more what it's used for than actually just like movement with a charge shot. I don't know. That was my thoughts on it after playing it for a little bit. Also, as you can see, like I had a little bit of a hard time because like I can only really play scope chargers. I tried doing the unscoped and it was just like it felt so weird to me that it's not zooming in. So I don't know if I'll play chargers if they don't have a scope on them in this game.
Now, what if the scope chargers don't have the ink, like the squid form mechanic?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure how that would work, right? Like that's why I'm kind of worried that it won't be in the game because like what you're gonna pop right out of squid form and instantly go into a scope. Like it just seems kind of weird. So I don't know, I really like it, but it just felt like a charger to me, like the weapon itself, and like that thing was a cool thing, but I didn't think it changed too much of how charger played, me personally speaking, but I know a lot of people really liked it. What about you, Pixel? What do you think about the charger itself?
I mean, I liked it. I was actually like, I wasn't doing like crazy shots and stuff, but like once I got the hang of how to do basic charger stuff, I was having fun. I was like next to the roller with the charger, and like I've been enjoying playing like kelp and stuff on Splat 1 recently, but like I don't know, like the fact that now like as a shooter, me seeing a glowing beam in the distance, I'm like, I see you back there, and like I know where to go. It's not like I'm laser hunting. I can just hunt for the beam of light, going to the heavens, and I'm like, there you are, you bastard. Like, it's way better. I feel like when I use it, I mean, if I was a god, I would feel like confident. Like it's like it makes you feel like less intimidated by like really good chargers, because if that is how if all the chargers glow like that. Like that means they're gonna have to play. They can't just be like not only if you're not like if they're hiding around a corner and they like their little lights shining out of the like corner, you'll like someone will see it and then call it out, and that's really cool, I think. And the swim mechanic was neat, but I was using it the wrong way. So I won't talk about that.
Why were you like holding squid farm? You're like, why isn't this working?
I totally on Muscle Forge. I went from like literally the bottom of the incline. I was just going up the incline, going down the incline, jumping off, shooting somebody, go back. And I was like doing it all on the incline the whole time. I was like, I think this is how it's supposed to be used.
So
So
now that we've gone through that a little bit, how do you feel about the what it's called, the Stingray, right? The Stingray.
Mm-hmm.
How does everyone feel about the Stingray? This is going to be controversial because I'm sure I have a different opinion from all of you.
I'm gonna start first.
Okay, let's
That shit
hear
was
it.
good. It was good. I don't
Oh,
care.
really? Oh my god!
Yeah, exactly.
I agree, man. I think it's good.
I got most of my kills with the charger were with the Stingray. I literally started strafing across the map, and I was like, hitting everybody. I was like, this is great because if you understand, like, if people are calling out positions and you have that, you can literally force, like, you can basically funnel people into where you want them to go. Because what are they gonna do? Like, what are they? They can't. It goes through everything. It's the God Ray. It doesn't care where you are, unless you're in the spawn or in the air. I'm not gonna be able to hit you. Like, actually, I wonder if you could hit somebody if they're jumping back to base. Like, if you catch them, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
but-
know though. I don't think
think
it's
it's still
that
good.
effective. You
It works
know.
the same way.
Yeah, I don't think they have a hitbox in the air, but it's
maybe
so
watch
good.
someone use the splashdown. Like if they hit the button, you can like, and then
Yeah.
that would be cool.
It was good though. I liked it. I mean, I mean, I expected it to be trash, but once I got the hang of it and how I'm supposed to use it and strafe with it more, like it was
Yeah,
It was really
you gotta
nice.
aim with the left stick instead of aiming with like your aim is what I kind of noticed. You know, what I
yeah,
mean?
you
'Cause,
strafe
like,
with
people-
it across the map.
Yeah,
So my thoughts on it. I think it's like a good support weapon. Like, I know that we were killing people with it because like we just had people who were like sitting in base like learning how to motion
Yeah.
control, you know. So like we might think it's really good because like we're just like six-shotting someone because he's not moving. He's like, why am I dying? So like we're like, yeah, this is
What's
awesome,
going on?
but it's probably not as awesome as we think when we played at a higher level. But I will say that I think it's really good to move people from a location. Like I know Silver had a GIF that he posted where someone like shot an ink ray in a straight line, so they couldn't move past it, or else they take too much damage. So it like contained them in an area, and I think that's what it's going to be really, really good for. Is like literally containing people into small spaces. It lasts a really long time, and you can move it, unlike a killer whale. So it's like you can create places so that people are at a disadvantage and they like kind of have to move at your will with the Stingray because of how long it is. So I think it would work really well with like, let's say you have someone who uses the missiles to get the echolocator, and then you pop one like as a teammate, and like you control the echolocator with that Stingray, so like you push them to a location where your teammates will kill them. Like this is like higher level stuff, but I think that's where it's heading to, and I really like it. People are like, oh, it needs to be like more damage, but I think its job isn't meant to be killing people. It's meant to just take them off of things, which is like a lot of what the specials are doing now. I think if TC does come back, it'll probably be like one of the best specials for TC or Rainmaker or something, like just keeping it out of like making sure you contain enemies. I don't know. I really liked it overall, and I thought in practice it played way better than what I thought it would be, because I thought it was going to be a steaming pile of shit, to be completely honest. So yeah, Rocket, what are your thoughts on the Stingray? Oh, is Rocket gone?
I can hear him. I can hear him fine.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Really? I can't hear Rocket.
You want me to translate? I speak strange approach.
Could Rocket like maybe disconnect and come back?
Yeah, reconnect.
Yeah, we'll just
back
have him
in and
disconnect
out.
and come back.
He speaks sprain.
The layout is ruined.
Yeah, it's ruined. It'll come back. Don't worry about it.
Huh?
We'll get him back.
Oh, wait, hold on. Now it's just my picture again.
Yeah, there we go. You're good. At least I could hear you now.
You can get your webcam to get back up if you hit Alt F4.
No. Camera icon.
There you go.
There you go.
All right,
I'm
so
dying.
So, Rocket, what were your thoughts on the Stingray? Sorry, kind of disconnected there from me.
So anyways, it's kind of like a wet pool noodle at first. Like trying to use it and wave it around the map just felt really stupid the first few times. But like I didn't kill anybody and nothing got accomplished. But once I got the hang of it, it is really like it's like a tripwire basically. You could use it. There's kind of two ways I was using it to quickly strafe around with it and see where everybody is, and then kind of focus on one person if I feel like I could actually kill him. But I can see why it'd be a lot more useful for something like splat zones, where you can call that you or you're going to use and just block off a whole section of zone or prevent them from getting into zone from a certain angle, and then another person on your team could kind of stay around you in that area, make sure nobody kills you, and then also pick and clean up anything that tries to get past the wire. And as soon as you feel people moving past the wire and get a hit detection, you can tell people, okay, someone's moving into zone. You'll be able to tell someone going through that, like through the laser.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and Hitzel, I don't know, you barely touched the thing, but how do you feel about it?
Some of my suspicions were kind of confirmed how I thought like it would play out, right? Like, I think that I do want to say that I think it's good. But I also think that it's only going to be good on something like a Dynamo, a Splatling, or a Charger or something like that. Like that thing isn't going to be useful. Like if 52 gets wall Stingray this time, I don't think that's going to be very good for the 52. Like it's not a whale, you know what I mean? And I think that what the Stingray does is it's more of like a combat support oriented version of like the old whale and Ink Strike, where like just coming from like someone that uses like heavy pretty often, if you're like backlining and you're painting and you're going for picks and you're supporting and your team just moves up like kind of past somewhere where you can't go anymore, the whale and the Ink Strike are useful for those situations, but it's like you pick a spot and then that's it. So if they see it coming, if they avoid it, you kind of stop being useful with it. Whereas like if you have a Stingray instead, when your team moves up and you can start Stingraying to like contribute towards the fight, like that is like way more combat oriented, because like you're not just picking a spot permanently and then never being able to like change it. If someone moves to the left, you can move to the left too, you know what I mean, and keep the pressure on the guy. And like towards the end, like I had fought some good snipers that were kind of doing that to me, where it's like they'd be like far away, and then like I'd get into a fight with someone, and then this like crazy Stingray lasers coming from like across the freaking map, like sometimes like more than E-liter range, you know what I mean? And like I can't do anything. Like he's so far away, I can't do crap. Like it's not even like he's being unsafe. He's just so far away that like even if I had a teammate over there, he can't help me either. Like I'm screwed. And then like either he would get the kill or I would get killed by the guy that I was trying to fight before all that happened, or like people would get me like stuck in a corner or whatever, where it's like I can't like there's a wall here and a Stingray here that's about to like cut my stomach open. Like I can't I can't do anything about this. So the Chargers that started using it like that like kind of impressed me, because I thought it was just going to be like we're not even going to see this thing be useful until the full game comes out. You know what I mean? Like that's what I suspected. I just wanted to kind of get some information on to maybe like theorycraft a little bit, but then like there was a couple like crazy snipers that actually like used it properly. So I was like, okay, well if it's being used good now, then like it's definitely going to be used good when the full game comes out, especially if they let me get my hands on a Disruptor Stingray L3.
Oh, I'm done. I'll quit. Bye.
Just give me bomb range.
I'll quit for the 40.
Don't worry. On that L3, they're just gonna put 2 Krakens on it for you. You know, they're gonna call it the Hitzel. They're gonna call it the Hitzel weapon.
They're gonna call it the fair and balanced 101. You know.
All right, guys. Let's go on to the next one. Let's cover the Hitzel special here. The splatter shot. I'm just gonna pull up Hitzel's stream over here. You have a bunch of videos here of you playing, so I'll put that on so we can watch that. So yeah, there we go. We have Hitzel. So yeah, let's start with you. What were your thoughts? You played it the most, I think, from all of us. So,
I kind of said it earlier, so I won't get like I won't repeat myself too much, but I definitely wanted to have like some more gear to like feel out like the real support sets, and I think that switching from Bomb Rush to Tenon missiles really opens up the viable play styles for the splatter shot from just my style, because like there's been no one that really had any kind of tournament success without using my build. Like there's been people besides me that found tournament success with the vanilla splatter shot, but they all pretty much use my build, or they like memed with it against like a team that was like lesser than them. It was like they pretty much just like use it as like a nerf 10 attack. And I think that the missiles makes it so that you can play a more like 10 attack style with it, like maybe some damage, some movement speed or whatever. And you're not going to be hindered by doing so. So that's like really cool. That being said, just the way that it functioned in game, it felt pretty nice. It painted well. The burst bombs, even though I wasn't getting like 2 shots and stuff like that, burst bombs themselves are pretty much exactly the way they were in Splat 1, which is really nice. And because of like how people were like kind of unable to really deal with like getting ink under their feet, there was a lot of times where I just throw a burst bomb, it would blow up under someone's feet, and then they would be like completely like screwed over. And again, I think that things like burst bombs and like kind of just like more like combat focused, just like anytime kind of ways to kill people are going to be stronger in Splat 2 than they were in Splat 1, because like in Splatoon 1 it's like you can do like a lot of cool stuff with like burst bombs to get some kills, but like a crack and push is going to like determine things anyway, you know what I mean? Whereas like now we don't have those specials, you kind of like want to revisit stuff like this. So I don't know, I think that's it's just kind of like good feelings for me. But I guess I'll just like, you know, send it back to you guys, just saying that like I really want to try my support build on this thing. Especially because of the 10 missiles, if anything. Like there was no burst bomb echo weapon besides the E-liter.
Yeah.
And that's nothing like a splatter shot or a neo splash or like a carbon or something like that. So I'm really like interested in how I'll be able to use that as a support player. Like, okay, now I can get like vision on top of all this. Like, how is that gonna like let me like help my team more, and how can I abuse that? So
Yeah,
I like it.
Good thoughts. I mean, like the weapon itself, I find hasn't changed too much. It's a splatter shot, you know what I mean? You do well with it. I do find the mechanic, which we'll get more into with the dualies after, I find the mechanic between the two is actually really interesting. Like when you're dueling the dualies with the splatter shot, I like thought it was pretty interesting. We'll get more into that though when we get to the dualies, because I think it's more related to that. But yeah, the weapon overall felt good. It felt like classic Tech or classic splatter shot from Splatoon 1. I guess like the big thing here to talk about is mostly just the special, you know what I mean? The tent missiles, which were awesome. I thought that you got them really fast. I thought I constantly had them.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know what? The funny part about that is all the specials had different like meter sizes or whatever, and 10 missiles is actually one of the slower ones to get, but you got it really fast because you had a splatter shot, and they were like really odd values, and they were all different, which makes me think that maybe specials aren't going to have different meter sizes based on the special like it was in Splat 1, but maybe it'll be based on the weapon. Kind of like how like they added the depletion and stuff like that, because I would kind of suspect that maybe one of the ways they'll balance weapons, instead of like just doing like heavy depletion, light depletion, maybe the dynamo will take 30% more points to fill up the meter, you know, fill up its meter, because the dynamo paints so much compared to like a sploosh or like a bamboozle or something like that can't paint as well. So I've just wanted to throw that out there because he just reminded me of that. But I really liked how with the 10 missiles, you could just sit there, you could activate 10 missiles and just get a location on everybody and just not hit the trigger.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and you get to sit there for a while. Like, think about like when you pull out an ink strike or a whale in Splat 1 and the meter starts to slowly go down until you hit the trigger and the meter hasn't reached 0 yet, you can still keep watching. And when you do that, your teammates don't see what you see. You can call them out, but they don't get like marked. And I still don't have this 100% confirmed because I want to go back and see if I can see it happening. But once you actually pull the trigger and people get locked onto those like circles that you see, your teammates can see those too. And then there's like these kind of dark circles that happen right before the missiles hit. Your teammates can definitely see those. So it's kind of like you get like these two phases of using the weapon where you can just sit there and not shoot anything, but you can see and call out. And then you can launch the missiles, and then the missiles kind of call out for you, which is like really cool. And if you think about how Echo is really useful in Splat 1, where like if you get a couple kills, you echo the last like 1 or 2 guys, and now they have like a really low chance of actually like being able to get revenge kills or like stop you from like wiping them, you know what I mean? Where like this actually might be better, because not only do you get vision on those guys and stop them from being able to stop your team's momentum, but then there's like explosives coming down on them. It's like you echo and then a free ink strike comes down. So I think it's better to think of that special not in terms of like this is the new ink strike. Think of it in terms of this is a new echo.
Yeah,
it's like a weaker echo, but then it comes with a free ink strike.
divert the enemy from a location. Like all the specials we had were to move enemies into your will, as opposed to really kill. Like Ten Missiles, I got kills, but like I see the intention of it is not for kills, because like I don't think I died to one ever. I think I think I avoided all of them, but I had a bunch of people die to them. You know what I mean? So the only one that I see that was like actually killing was the dually weapon. But yeah, I like it. I find it's a really, really good support thing. It's valuable because you can call out enemies, like you said, and it also provides the option to move enemies to a specific location. Like, oh, we want to get this person and we want to pick them off. Okay, let's throw a missile on this person and get it there. Not only that, if you get all 4, that's a lot of ink coverage that gets rained down on. Like, you get a bunch of it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, if they're, like, in the mid area and you drop it down, like, that's more movement for you. So, yeah.
One thing that's worth noting about that, though, is the amount of time it takes for you to get done firing depends on how many people you locked onto. So if you lock onto one guy, it's just beep, 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 and
yeah, it's 3 missiles.
But if you lock onto all 4 people, it's like
60. And you know, that's what I meant. Like, dude, it's crazy when you get 4 people on it. Like, that ink coverage is insane. Like, that's like better than an ink strike. You know what I mean? Like, that's
yeah,
great.
It probably will be. Like, I'd like to compare like the points you get, like to the like in Turf War or whatever, to like the way it was in Splat 1 with an ink strike compared to like locking on the 4 people. But you do need to be careful though, because like it's kind of like the stingray, where like if you stingray in the wrong spot, someone can come up and kill you. If you lock onto 4 people and one of those people gets up in your face, like you're still going to be dancing when he gets to you and you're going to die. So you got to be careful.
Yeah. And Pixel, any final thoughts on this special, you know, or the kit overall?
I mean, I liked it. I like the whole kit. I mean, I don't like the splatter shot that much, because just didn't, unless you play it the way Hitzel plays it, it's not really being utilized the same. Like it's not like it's just like harass and spread, but like, which we'll cover with the dualies. Like the bomb actually is pretty useful for fighting the dualies, and the special is really good and getting people to move, because like they have to move if they stand in that spot. Those big meteors are going to come away, so they need to move on to the next location. So it's really, I like it. Like it's really nice. All the specials so far are really nice.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
All right, so let's get to the weapon everyone wants to talk about. We know everyone wants to talk about the dualies. That's why I saved it for last, because you guys all love them, right? Everyone loves the dualies. So hold on, let me pull up Rocket over here. Okay, you might say, but everyone else loves that thing, okay? So, yeah, I'm going to pull up Rocket. Just give me a second here. I'll just pull him up. So, yeah, go ahead.
Also, I think it's funny that in that gameplay, I played dualies. We were talking about Spider Shot. We switched back to Spider Shot.
No, you went back to Splatter Shot. You had a couple of things where you played dualies. Whatever. Okay. We're getting into dualies now. It's not my fault that you didn't play exclusively Splatter Shot sometimes, okay? So, let's start off with it. What'd you guys think of the weapon, the only new weapon in the game that we've got to play?
I thought it was crazy awesome. I mean, I was excited when I first saw it, but then when I saw that they switched the curling bombs from the roller to the dualies, and now it's just literally like an Aerospray MG, which is like play. But I love the dashing mechanic of it is really cool. I thought it got taken used to a lot, because I was already pulling up the map when I meant to jump, and then I was not dashing when I meant to dash, and swimming when I meant to dash, and all that stuff. But and realized that the dashing mechanic was more so for escaping than approaching. I started doing a lot better with it, but because my gut is to go right into enemy ink and just dash straight forward and chase somebody, but I would do a firefight, paint, and then back away with it. And over painting too, like doing a double dash into the quick fire and just painting a lot was actually a lot more useful than I thought it would. You could quickly paint a large portion.
Yeah, you just blew my mind. Like, I was watching your gameplay and I saw that you started out by just rolling, just spraying everywhere, and I was like, "Holy crap, that painted!" I didn't know you could do that.
So one thing I do want to add is that I played the dualies a lot, actually. I really wanted to get used to them because I thought they were really cool and they had an interesting use. I think it's the best way I could describe it is it's like a more useful arrow spray, kind of like what Rocket was going on about. It's similar to an arrow spray, but it feels better. It feels, one, it's really fun to play. Like, regardless if it's good or not, man, you could just like whip those out, have a good time. You know what I mean? Like, you feel like John Woo or John Wick or whatever kind of action hero you want to be, you know, but in squid form. I just think they're great. Like, it's the one thing I will say is the mechanics of the what really makes the weapon is mostly the roll. Like, let's be real here. That's what we're all loving, right? I like the mechanics of it is like you can roll once and then keep moving at a little bit faster pace, but then you can roll twice in a row, get a little bit like of a you can't move for a little bit, but like you get that extra push forward to like distract an enemy. So it becomes kind of like this rock, paper, scissors duel where it's like, is he gonna where is he gonna roll? And is he gonna roll twice? So like you're gonna have to predict at a higher level where that person is going to arrive based on how many rolls they're doing, which is like pretty cool, I find. It's a cool mechanic.
Yeah, totally. I mean, going from Gears of War, like once I saw that roll, I was like, I'm gonna play that. That's mine. Y'all can't have that's mine. And then I played it, and I played it, and I played it, played it. It's like maybe I should use something else because I don't know, like just something like I was doing fine with it. With certain scenarios, especially after getting like the timing of like having, because you know I do a lot of movement. I'm like my movement is really good. With that, it looked like a 4-year-old struggling to roll. Like I was rolling down a hill at Mach speed, and nothing was happening. Like it was awful. And then I would like ground, and I had to like get used to not accidentally pressing the roll while trying to like paint and get away. But once I got that figured out, it still kind of felt like there's a little bit much like landing lag when you like hit the ground and get to shoot. But once people really like it, feels like it'll take a lot of effort to make it like really, really good, and that's what I'm excited to see is the people who put all that time in. Like I feel like that's where it'll shine. But for like just playing it through the test fire, I was like, this is cool, but I can't wall bounce and shit, so I'm not having as much fun as I thought I would.
One thing I will say is that I did some really crazy shit with the like the spitting. Like I don't know about you, but like I would like kill someone and there'd be someone behind me and then I just like whip back and then he still stands there and then I'm behind him and then I shoot him. I was like, damn, like you could do this. Yeah. And like obviously you're not playing against the best, but it's like still feels really good and you could see how you could kind of outplay someone or juke someone based on that. Like at a higher level, I could see someone maybe like rolling back twice, sacrificing that like that stasis that you get and like getting the kill. Yeah, I don't know, it's pretty cool. I feel like you're as much as like you kill, I feel like this thing will be more like that shit disturber weapon, like that weapon that everyone hates to play against because they're just like, this guy's rolling around me everywhere and I can't kill him. Why doesn't he stop spinning? You know, and like that's enough of a distraction for your team to come in. Like I feel that's more of the role that it'll play is like that carbon roller style, except not as good because carbons can like massacre you. But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. Like I really enjoyed playing it. I don't think it's the greatest right now, but at the same time I think it has like a pretty high skill curve. Like I think that it can be very good. It just has to be played the right way. Like I feel like when I was watching people, they were playing the wrong way. They were using it to go forward instead of using it to evade or using it at the right moment. Like you're not supposed to instantly go into battle. Let's just start spinning, you know? It's like, no, you really gotta wait for the right moment when you see someone shooting and then spin so that they have to readjust their aim and stuff. It's more of like a mind game than anything is what that is, I find. So yeah, that's my overall thoughts on it. So what about anyone else have some closing thoughts on at least the dualies?
Like I said earlier, I think the curling bombs are just awesome, and they were way more viable than I thought they were going to be. I just think that if you look at the dualies, it pretty much has Seekering Zuka, right? Mm-hmm. And like I think that thing's a straight up upgrade to the Silver Aerospray. You know what I mean? Like a Silver Aerospray. Like I know Rocket's in the room, so you can just not listen for a second. But I don't think it's viable. I don't think it's good. Like I don't think the silver aerospace is good, but then this thing is like, okay, I think this thing is actually viable, especially since we don't know what like it's like the deco kit's going to be or whatever. You know what I mean? And I like you guys said too, just using the roll after combat has started is really good. Like I was having some fun with that, and someone from Koopa Clan, I forget if it was Soren or Kyver or some Rising Moon guy, I forget. I was gonna like look at my friends list on the Switch, but I didn't want to like do it on the webcam. But anyway, I matched up against one of those guys, and they were using the dually, and like they were doing crazy crap in like one-on-ones that like I hadn't even thought of yet. So I think that there's like a lot of potential to get like some really intuitive like movement, like not even like tactics, just like movement like philosophies out of that thing. That'll make it pretty useful, especially since we know that like they said the dually is like a class, like it's like shooters or blasters or rollers, you know what I mean? So there's going to be more dualies that have different shooting mechanics. So who knows what the other ones are going to be like? Is there going to be like a longer range one that like is viable just because it's longer range? Is there going to be like some crazy kid on one of them? Like there's probably going to be at least 6 of them. So
Yeah.
we'll see it then.
So
The special.
yeah, so let's get into the sub and special. We'll put them all together because it's like a kit, right? And they're all new. Like everything about this weapon's new. They didn't put anything that was old into it, so it's kind of a big point of discussion. So we have the jetpack shooter thing, kind of the Inkzuka, I guess you could say, of Splatoon 2, and the curling bomb. So what's your guys' thoughts on it? I'm probably gonna have a way different opinion from what you guys have on it. So go for it.
It's garbage.
Okay, no, wow, dude, we have the same opinions about everything. I think it's terrible. Like
I don't like the jetpack.
I don't like the jetpack,
The
and
curling bomb was perfect.
I don't like the curling bomb either.
I
wanna
like
clarify.
the curling bomb,
I don't like it.
but I hated the special because I was killing people so easily when they were using it because it's so clunky that I realized that I could do is you could go squid form really quick in the air. And people would always miss their shots all the time. I would just be like, barely press it. But it felt so garbage because of how, like, I don't know. It just seems like combine it with a special, like a missiles to lead them in somewhere. It might be better. But on its own, like, it's like a Zuka blaster. It shoots this big, boiling hot ink orb, and it just makes me angry because it still takes 2 indirects to kill, and I'm sitting here in this jetpack. I think the only way people should use it is like be sneaky about it, like, you know, go in the ink with it. You can come out and then it's there, but like you're just like a floating target. Like, come and kill me, I'm a fucking balloon. Like, don't do that. It's awful. It's too bad.
So
It's terrible.
yeah, I'm gonna kind of jump off of what you said. I think the issue with it is that like I played around with it a lot because like people were saying like, yeah, you press the jump to like maneuver going higher and lower, but I feel like the game kind of has a path for you regardless if you move up or not. Like I was trying to get up to a bridge and I was jumping. Like I was pressing that fucking squid button to jump up and it just wasn't going like every time I did it, and it felt like it had a predisposed path for me and I could like elevate a little bit higher but not enough to a point where I felt like I was in control of the jetpack. I felt like that thing had a mind of its own. It feels kind of wonky on the controls. I have no problem with like the sludge bomb or whatever Cody's talking about, you know? Like I thought I could get kills with it, but I thought the way that it moved was like really poor. Also, it's pretty slow, like they said. Kind of sniper fodder. Like I don't know. Like I feel like it's supposed to be a killing type special, as opposed to the other ones that we were talking about with support. But in no way do you feel like you can get kills. I feel like at a high level, like if you get like a power sniping you, like you're just dead. Like you're never going to be able to activate that without dying instantly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like it might turn into like this weird meta where people start swimming with it and just kind of like walking up to people beside them and using the bomb like while they're swimming instead of using the actual jetpack. Because like that seems like the most effective use of it. It's like a one-shot burst bomb at that range, right? So yeah, I don't know.
You have to aim like straight down. You kind of like do this weird kind of like jump up and slam the bomb straight down thing. That does work.
Yeah. So what about you, Rocket? And Hitzel?
Well,
Because you guys, I think you have different opinions from us, right?
Yeah, I disagree. I think it's actually pretty good. For a couple different reasons. First of all, the inkjet, like the actual stream of ink you use to push yourself off, just one shots everybody if anybody runs into it. So you can pretty much just fly around and hover over people and kill them that way, which is kind
I
of hilarious.
actually died to that like 2 times, and I didn't know what I was dying to, and I got really mad, and then I realized that I was actually dying to the exhaust of that thing, and I'm like, wow, I feel really dumb.
But I can just picture somebody like riding a tower, and you just like start hovering over the tower and just like hover around there and just kill everybody. But I did like it though. I think it's actually, yeah, you're kind of fodder for snipers and stuff, but at the same time, you're a huge distraction. Like if you actually want to fly up and stuff, you can instantly pull everybody up to this guy. It's almost like the way that a kraken or a bubble can scatter somebody. It's like they almost can do the same thing. Like if you see a bubble in zone or they're pushing up through zone with a bubble, you're going to back off. Like you're not going to go forward. Like if you see the inkjet, everyone's going to take a second back up and then try to kill it as fast as possible. So it allows your teammates to kind of do more things in that way. But it's a one shot, which is good if you direct people with it. Kind of weird, obviously, directing people flying through the air with it, and kind of like you guys were saying, it doesn't feel like you can completely control it, which I don't like. But you can actually hit people and direct people. So I think it's not too bad. I think it'll take some getting used to, but swimming with it, using it as a distraction, I definitely like it.
Yeah. Okay, so last thing about the dualies and all the weapons, and then we'll get a couple of, we have 2 questions in from people, and then my personal question for you guys, since I want people to get to know Strange Approach better, but we'll get into the curling bombs first. So what's your thoughts on the curling bombs? Like really briefly, I guess, because like I think we kind of understand the uses. We'll just kind of go over them a bit for the viewers. So what's your guys' thoughts on the curling bombs?
Yabba dabba do. That's it. That's all I got. I liked it.
So
liked it a
I
lot.
thought Seekers were better, just personally speaking, because I find that I was, or maybe I'm just using them wrong, and I feel like I'm always going to use them wrong. Like it's just not my play style. Is like I aim it for the enemy at my position, and then it hits them once, and then it doesn't explode because it like has to hit a couple of times, or it's on a timer, right? So I feel like it's more like a proximity mine, I guess is the best way you could describe it, like a moving proximity mine, where it's like you have to time it out when it'll explode. Like I've had some interesting kills with it, but it was completely by fluke. Like I didn't feel like I was personally getting those kills. It was just like, oh, someone was stupid. So yeah, I thought it was really good for movement, like moving in with the dualies. That was cool. But yeah, as like a killing type thing or diversion, I thought they were kind of useless on that part overall. Like I found I was just using the dualies.
Yeah, I
You
was
could
gonna
charge
say, like,
it and hold it. Yeah,
Wait,
that's
what?
what really sold me. You can charge and hold it, and then you can throw it, and it'll blow up.
Are you fucking serious?
yeah.
I know
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
what I
know
was
you told
doing.
me
You would
about
use
that.
it.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Yeah, if you hold down the button, it turns into a lethal bomb that doesn't go. It's more like a splat bomb at that point. So it's like it has like 2 modes. So like the one mode is like it just goes forever, and that's more of like a movement thing. Or like if you know exactly where it's gonna go, you can like send like an explosive somewhere across the map. Like I don't really think that's useful. But if you hold it down, it goes really slow, and then it like blows up like a couple moments after you throw it. So the amount of time it takes for you to like charge it, throw it, and let it blow up is probably a little bit longer than a splat bomb, maybe about as long as a suction bomb. And like since you like spend all that time charging, you're not like restoring ink the whole time or whatever. So like it's a little bit worse and you also can't throw it over stuff. Like even if you toss it straight up, it just drops straight down to the ground. So it's like kind of like a worse splat or suction bomb in that sense, where it's like you can throw a little bit less of them over time, and you don't really have as many options. But then you also have the option of movement. So it's like you kind of like have like a worse splatter suction bomb with the option of doing the long range thing. So if you think about it that way, you should kind of like charge first and like don't charge as like a secondary thing. Kind of like with the vertical roller on like the vertical flick with the roller. Like you want to be doing horizontal flicks normal, and then you do like the new vertical flick thing in like special situations. Like you kind of want to charge the curling bombs and use them like lethal bombs, and then use the long range thing in like special situations.
Yeah. Okay. So I will say that they're good weapons now. I'm sorry. I'm actually stupid. I take back everything I said. I didn't use it properly. So it's good to know that you can hold that charge. That makes it way more viable for me, in my opinion. So, any other thoughts, Rocket, on the curling bomb?
It's basically it's like a seeker you can control. I loved it. It's really cool. It's obviously not for kills. It's for movement. A lot like what seekers are. but you can make it a change up. You can make it go far if you want to just use it to travel. But I really liked it, and I do actually like kind of what you mentioned, Hitzel, about raising it. Not, you can't throw it like a suction bomb or a splat bomb, but it actually does have a little bit more height to it than a seeker does. You can lob it up, and it's a lot easier to put it on top of a ledge. So I think it's just a buff to the seeker. So obviously I like it.
Cool. So I guess that wraps up at least the discussion of all our weapons. I asked people on Twitter. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Hitzel.
Yeah, one last thing I want to mention about the inkjet, like you kind of like said it earlier, where it's like, oh man, I think like people are eventually going to have to like swim instead of like fly around. Like I think that's actually how it is going to get used, like because that thing's recall is really useful. So it's like what I think people are going to do is they're going to activate it in a safe spot and then swim. Go for like a flank, try to get like a quick kill or whatever, and then by the time everyone's like, "Oh shit, there's an inkjet behind us," he just flies back to where he came from, which kind of like fits with like the dually play style just as a whole, where it's like they get in the shit, and then they roll around to like not die from it, or like they have like a curling bomb to get in, rolls to get out. Same thing, like you can like curling bomb activate your inkjet, just swim in it, get like 1 or 2 kills with like 2 or 4 shots and then just recall out. Like I think that like flying around is something you'll do to try to like avoid shots once you're fighting people, but you're not going to like fly around the map with it. Again, it's kind of like the default option that they give you is the thing you want to do less often.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a couple of the new mechanics are like that, where it's like they have like a only sometimes option that everybody's doing all the time. Like as we learn it, I think that we'll kind of dial it back and we'll use those special options only when they're needed, and we'll go with the smarter stuff more often.
So I think, just to summarize on that, I think it's going to be garbage, but I think once you learn to ink below it, it's going to be good. Like once people figure out actually how to control going swimming under the ink and jumping back, like you said, it'll be like a really good special, but it's like not the intended use of the weapon. You know what I mean? Like it's like Nintendo's going to look at that and go, we didn't want this to happen, and I feel like that might get patched out.
Smart players.
So I guess that wraps up at least the Splatoon 2 discussion. I have a couple of viewer questions here, but just before we get into that, really quickly, final thoughts, favorite weapon of the test fire, just name the weapon, guys. So Pixel?
I'm going to have to go with the roller. I had to think for a second. I was like, I really enjoyed the roller a lot.
Scum, the roller. So how about you, Rocket?
I think the roller was the best, but I definitely had most fun with the dualies, probably.
Cool. Hitzel?
Splatter shot.
Best weapon?
I want to use gear on it. Yeah. Oh, the best weapon or the one that I like
best
the most?
Weapon and the one you like playing the most.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think splatter shot just because it was turf war, but if we were playing ranked modes, I guess I think I would kind of agree, like the roller as well.
Yeah, I'm on board. I think the roller's probably the best kit right now. Most fun. I actually like playing the splatter shot the most, to be completely honest. I just felt really comfortable with it. I think dualies are really close. Like those were even. The charger, because it wasn't scoped, just didn't fit me. So let's go right into some Twitter questions. So I had two people left me some Twitter questions. I asked throughout the week if anyone had any questions related to us for the cast, and I got a couple of answers. So SKR Bob the Hobo is cool, or cool in his Twitter. Everyone give this guy a follow. He plays for Spicy Cracker Rolls. Good guy in the community. He asks, what weapon tweaks do you foresee in Splatoon 2 now that all the weapons are returning, sauce specials, and subs? So try and make this as brief as possible because it's really vague. So just name me one weapon that you think you would like to see tweaked.
Blasters.
What do you think you want to change on them?
I don't know. I kind of think about it. I think it comes down to either the blast radius, how much damage the outside of the blast radius does, or just the amount of time kind of in between blasts. Like you kind of think of a CRB versus a Luna it takes more time in between shots. Like if they made that longer, or they could also do something like the edge of a blast at the moment does 50 damage. So if someone's on the outside edge, they're going to die because 50-50 is 100. But if they make it something like 40, you're still going to be able to get 2 indirects to kill. It's just going to be much harder. So I don't know. There's a couple different ways they could fix it, but I think at the moment it's just too strong, especially if they keep things like tower control and Rainmaker, where you have an objective that's mobile and you can easily just shut down by putting a blaster in the right spot.
Okay. Hitzel?
I think that in general, weapons that were good in Splat 1 that were bad weapons but had really good specials and kits are going to need to they're going to need to make those more powerful just as weapons by themselves, because there's no like bubbles or krakens to make like a junior or a cherry good. And I think that they could do things like perhaps like up the base swim speed of like the sploosh and like the aerospray kind of weapons, kind of like how they up the base run speed of like the NZAP or whatever. Or conversely, they slowed down things like the Hydra and E-Leader and Dynamo. So I think that they might do like base stat increases for certain weapons that don't have a special to make them good anymore. I don't really know a specific weapon, but I just think that it's a more challenging balance environment for them to work that kind of stuff out with now.
Okay, cool. And Pixel?
I'm gonna go with what Rocket said. Like, they need to do something with the blaster ADS, because sometimes I feel like it's like a Gears of War shotgun from like the first game, where it can like just change things as happening. Like, actually, the thing that I would like the most, they didn't have to tweak it. Just when I get directed, I want to hear the same sound the enemy hears when they hit me with a direct, the ping, because then I know I didn't get that they actually like killed my ass like perfectly. And that would make me feel better. I wouldn't be like, oh, it looked like he hit me indirect, but he actually got me like right in the face. Like, I don't know. Make me feel a little better about myself.
Can I just say that I want to hear different sounds depending on what burst bomb hitbox I get, because that it means that it makes a big difference. Like, my decision changes when I get a direct or an indirect or a shockwave.
This is only you. Only you would ask this question.
Yes.
Like, no one else in the world is like worried about the burst bomb hit sounds, you know?
I know you're listening, Bill Trennan.
So as for me, really quickly, I just think you should remove all carbon rollers. They're the worst weapons in the game. They're too fast and they're too good. So if you're using a carbon roller, please stop using them. And I hope they're not in Splatoon 2. What else? Invincibility specials need to go. Quick respawn needs to get nerfed.
And stealth jump.
Just make it a game about actually killing people, not the specials. Weapons themselves, I feel like if a weapon has some form of a skill level, it works well. I don't know about specific changes. Like I said, I don't personally like the carbon roller, but I don't think it's like inherently completely broken. So just I'll look for it. I'm more about seeing what they do and seeing how that works, as opposed to making my own comments. I can't develop games, so I'm not gonna go into that, you know? Let's get into the second question here. This one would be Patrick, Juno SSP. He asks, what changes do you all hope to see in the new map structures and layouts? We kind of covered this a little bit when we talked about the maps, but going into a little bit more, what would you like to see?
I would say, I know I saw a couple people complaining about it, but I actually like that the two maps we have are a bit smaller, because I feel like in Splat 1, some of the maps are so big, if you don't have turf control, it's so hard to get back. But if they're smaller, it's easier just to get a kill or two, and you get that turf back quickly. So I'd prefer if they were smaller. Like, the Moray maps need to go. Like, if Kelp Dome does come back, I think the mid should just be smaller, so it's not just a giant pool of ink, but smaller maps, basically. But that's probably me being biased because I use short-range stuff, but that's what I'd go for.
Go ahead, Hitzel. What do you think?
If the game types work differently, I would say lots of asymmetrical maps, like not ones like where it's like Salt Spray, where like it's not exactly the same. I'm talking about like just there's no symmetry at all. But we can't have that because of the game types. But one thing that I would like to see is a type of like a map design style that we don't have in Splatoon that we have in other shooters that I think are generally like the best, is like room-based maps, where the map isn't like, right now the maps are kind of like they're open areas with like a bunch of pieces of cover to get behind, as opposed to like this is a completely isolated room and there's like a couple hallways that all leave the room in different ways that go to different rooms. Like, that would be a little bit weird for Splatoon, but I think that that's like the best way that map design works for shooters. If you have like these small rooms that like have different ways to approach different rooms, just the way movement and teamwork and strategy and stuff works is really good. And like the way I described it might make that sound like it gets like cramped or whatever. But if you do it right, if there's enough different ways to leave each room, they don't have to be like hallways and they can be more open. But just having about 3 exits per area, it just ends up working out. Like there's really no crampedness to it, and we don't have that in Splatoon. Like I don't even know what map I could say is the closest to it because we just straight up don't have that in Splatoon. So I'd like to see that. That being said, I do like the way that the maps are designed now, where it's kind of like, okay, like they are open and have cover, but the way to get out of your base is like really consistent. And then once you get into mid, like there's like an interesting structure of some sort. So if we don't get it, I won't be like upset, but I would really like to see like map based design.
Okay.
Or a room based design. Sorry.
Yeah, Pixel.
I would just like to see maps that really utilize like actual good map design and not just thinking what looks cool. Like races from a competitive standpoint don't make any fucking sense to me. So hopefully that gets resolved. And I still have that feeling with Splatoon, like playing the test fire. I was like, some like good skilled players, like I could see lockouts. You could also see them getting like out, but I'm like, these maps are really tiny. It feels like more chaotic, that's good because that makes for hype. Like that's way better than taking 10 years to get to the center of the map to fight. So I don't decide to actually think about competition and how things will play out on a high level, not just turning your brain off, running around in a circle, painting the base before you leave the door, like stuff like that. Like I really want them to utilize competitive like map design. So
yeah, I mean, I don't have too much thoughts on this other than I think they just have. I feel like a lot of the maps in Splatoon 1 are kind of like you said, they're open, and then they just kind of have like that one funnel point, and they have like some entrances to go through. Like you look at like Arowana, you look at things like
exactly.
I don't know, just like every map pretty much has that kind of thing. Like there's like one middle area that everyone kind of like funnels into, and there's like 3 points that you have to cover, and like a charger sits in one place, and it's very hard to like change up how you're gonna play it. Like every team will play very similarly. It's just what weapon you'll use to change your strategy in a way. I find it doesn't really benefit someone who's trying to be creative because like you're just gonna get crushed by like a standard meta. Like if I'm on Arowana and there's like someone in the open and the close, and there's someone in the mid and I have that contained, like what are you going to do that's creative to stop that? You basically just have to do the same thing that the other team's doing, right? So I'd like to see that. So it opens up more strategy where like, oh my God, a charger did this, or like this guy went through this and did this. That's crazy, right? Like you see a little bit of it in some of the maps, like Bluefin, like you saw that like clip on Twitter where like the guy jumps through the side of the ramp instead of the left side, like just cool strats, I want to see that kind of stuff more. And I feel like the first game doesn't really have that a lot. So that would be my thing. So yeah. Thanks for the question, guys. Patrick and Bob, give them a follow on Twitter. So yeah, so
I played with Bob in the test fire, by the way. He's on my friends list, so
congratulations, Bob. So before we close out the show, I just have a question because a lot of people who are watching the show are watching it because they just want to know about Splatoon and kind of know what we are. But just so everyone knows, Ink Radio is a podcast where we're going to highlight a lot of people in the community. In particular, we have Rocket and Hitzel on the show today, who are from a team called Strange Approach. And we kind of want to get you to know them a little bit better. So I'm going to ask just a single question, and however they answer it, I mean, guess it lets you know them a little bit better. So my question to you is, since you're on the team Strange Approach, what is the strangest approach you have ever received?
Received?
Received or given. I mean, if you want to go both ways, I mean, I won't stop you on this. If you want to give both stories, man, if you had a strange approach, go for it. I'm all ears, but I don't know if you want to disclose that information to kind of make you look kind of creepy,
So I'll be dead honest. We made up the name because I was in the shower one time and I was like, you know what? If we were being casted in a tournament, I think it would be cool if Rocket kept saying like our name was Strange Approach.
You mean Eric?
I mean, wait, did I say Rocket?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I meant to say Eric.
Yeah, Rocket's just sitting in your voice chat while you're making calls like Strange Approach.
Strange Approach.
I'm making a Strange Approach
Strange
again.
Approach.
I just thought that that would be kind of a cool name to hear like the caster say or something like that. And I went into, because we had just like a server and we didn't have a name yet and stuff like that. And I was like, how about the same strange approach? It was like this bad. And and I was like, all right, I think it's something better. And like a week went by. I was like, did anyone think any better? We were like, nah. It's like, all right, cool, we're strange approach. So I guess that's a strange approach of picking a name. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's kind of funny because we never really addressed that, but from time to time someone will like say like, oh, like we're gonna like do this like wonky strategy or do something that's not meta because that's what strange approach means. And I'm like, it doesn't. I don't know, it doesn't. Or like someone will just say something completely different, like, yeah, that's strange approach, that's what it means. And like they're like, it's like, yeah, we figured out what the branding is. And it's like,
No.
It's become this
I'm
beast that
arguing
you
with
can't
this.
control. You know, it just happens.
it just sounded like the
Uh,
name at the time.
you
That
just
was
kind of
something.
accept it, right, Hitzel? You
Yeah.
just kind of let that meme grow. Let it nurture. You know, have people enjoy it. You know. But have you guys ever had like a strange interaction with people? Like, you know, just walking down the street, someone does something weird, gives you the stink eye or something.
I mean, I'm sure I've had a bunch in person, but kind of more so like online. I felt really bad. This is specific, but I had a person email me like last week who wanted to join S&D. It was like from a Squidboards post from like 2 years ago. And I had to email him back like, oh, I'm sorry. It's not a thing anymore. But I definitely got some interesting interactions with you know, I feel bad, but sometimes it's like these like 8 or 9-year-olds who want to like join the team like S&D. It's like, oh, sorry, it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, we don't do that.
But yeah,
I mean, you could revive it. You know,
yeah, you know,
you could revive it for
Probably
all
will,
the kids. SND revival without you on it. Just like you nurture that community. You know.
yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to do that.
So yeah. Anyways, any other things that you guys want to add? Any cool stories before we wrap up the show here, guys?
I mean, I guess I should say that we're actually gonna be launching like a Twitter and a YouTube and trying to like actually do like team content and stuff. Like we want to do like commentary and we want to kind of like reach out a little bit with like, I guess like the brand. It's not ready yet because I'm lazy, but I'm sure.
Hey, like us, dude. Ink
It'll be
TV.
soon.
We just started
Eventually.
Ink TV. You guys could start Strange Approach TV.
Strange TV.
Your logo should be something like "Watch out in the back, but in the front too." You know.
Oh my god, what?
I don't know. The team's just like a bunch of really nice guys, and we kind of like we run it a lot like looser than like teams have been run in the past. Like it's not like here's like the captain and here's the co-captain, here's a secretary, and here's like this like we're gonna
The
like
secretary?
put on yeah, like like a lot of teams I'm on like I've been on the past like or I've seen like they kind of like take like the team aspect of it too seriously. Like we don't really have like a captain. Everybody kind of has like equal say, and like we do it because like we enjoy it. You know what I mean, kind of thing. And it doesn't mean that we don't like play to win or like practice seriously. Like we do that kind of stuff. But it's like it kind of like it all holds itself together naturally, as opposed to like us having like it doesn't feel like there's like a written contract or like we don't take ourselves too seriously like I see a lot of teams do. Like I don't know, we just.
Yeah, it's weird too. We definitely play our best when we're just hanging out and having fun, as opposed to like really nervous and trying to actually play hard and play good. So yeah, kind of going off what Hitzel said. It's kind of fun. It's chill, and we've been getting better just by the fact that we just have been practicing and hanging out together.
Yeah, I know. Like I always hang out on your server all the time, Hitzel. So I kind of have an idea of how your team goes. Like you guys are probably some of the coolest people in the community, team-wise. I feel like you also provide a lot of insight in terms of teamwork. I feel like you're one of the few teams that actually try to really work on themselves as a team. Like I like the idea of a unit as opposed to like this player needs to do better or this weapon is what changes it. You guys are like, we could do this, but let's work it out in a certain way that feels good for us, which is like one of the few things that you guys are doing. And I really respect that regardless of how you play. Cause you know, at Hitzel, you really drop the ball all the time. No, I'm kidding. But
I also play like a dick. So, you know.
So yeah, but yeah, I think that's a really good part about you. So yeah. So before we wrap up the show, shout out your YouTube, shout out your Twitters, give some plugs for yourself before we wrap up.
You first.
All right, I'll go first. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's PG Rock Attack is my Twitter, and I have a YouTube too, which is just Rock Attack. I do Splatoon videos every Monday, and I've been covering news updates and stuff like that. So if you like that sort of thing, I go into detailed stuff, mostly stuff about the carbon roller, which is the weapon I pretty much made now. But yeah, check it out.
Yeah, and my Twitter is Hitzel89, my Twitch is Hitzelberger, and my YouTube's Hitzel. There's some derivative of Hitzel for all, for all
Just
this.
type in Hitzel Splat Hacks. He's there.
Yeah, and that was actually Lean's video, but yeah, I'm in the Splat Hacks tutorial. But I do morning streams, Coffee with Hitzel. They're pretty early, and if you can't catch them, I put them up on YouTube afterwards. I also will stream like scrims, tournaments, like squads, whatever, and then the highlights of that gets thrown up on YouTube. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with Twitter, but I do it, so there's that. But yeah, I like teaching people, and I like one of the reasons I started streaming in the first place was I felt like I would really enjoy just showing people stuff. And so if you're especially if you're kind of like a newer player and you want to kind of like get some insight, ask me questions and that kind of thing, that's the kind of stuff I like to do. And then if you're not there for like the actual streams, the stuff's up there on YouTube, and I hope that people enjoy it. So yeah,
Cool.
Twitch.tv/Hitzelberger.
All right, Pixel. Shout out your plugs. Shout out whatever you want to say.
What? Everything that I have is literally ranging from the Facebook to the Twitter to the YouTube to the everything is literally Cody. That's it. Not pixelated Bodie, not pixelate Cody, pixelated Cody. Yes, those are imposters. Yes, I just called them out. That's what you get. Saying like literally where you can find me, like pixelated Cody. It's like the easiest thing to find.
Cool.
In my defense, everything I had was /Hitzel, but I forgot the passwords for shit. So I was like, I signed up for Twitter like 10 years ago. I don't know what the password is.
So, yeah, my name's Spoon. Me and Pixel, the host of this show. You can find me at CryptikSpoon for everything. I have a YouTube, I have a Twitter. I'm not really active on YouTube. Me and Pixel are also part of Ink TV for this podcast. We have a couple of things in the works for you guys in response to like news shows, interviews, more stuff, just to like shed some light on this great community that we have. So look forward to it. Look forward to the next episode that we're going to provide. I promise you we're going to have some good guests on. We're going to have some good content. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the first show, guys. See you later. Everyone say bye.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye. Have a wonderful time. Bark.
Bark, bark, bark.